What is up everybody and welcome back to another Among Us video. So I was playing Among Us at 3 in the morning, which is a time that is filled with mystery. It's believed that at this hour, many strange things will happen to you, and it's recommended that you don't play at this time. I wasn't paying attention to the time, and it was approaching 3 in the morning. And that's when I encountered one of the most dangerous imposters in all of Among Us. His name is Amogus. And before we get any further into this video, I do want to mention that 70% of you have not hit that subscribe button, which means that you're missing out on my Among Us story videos. So why not solve that issue by hitting that subscribe button with the bell icon turned on, and dropping a like on this video if you want to see more. But now, let's begin with this story video. So I was looking for a lobby, and I didn't even realize that it was 3 in the morning. I joined and I had a completely different name. It was Amogus. I got banned from the lobby, which I guess was a good thing, and I checked my account and I was Amogus. So I changed it back to Chari. I didn't want to have this name. And when I joined back, I had my name. My name must have reset. That was weird. We were waiting for more players to join and we finally had enough. And I only had to worry about 4 tasks, which 2 of them were in electrical, which is a location that I tried to avoid. I did a few of my tasks, but then a body was reported, and Light Pink was being accused of being the imposter. So now I feel a lot more comfortable. I entered electrical by myself, but then Pink was just watching me. I then tried to escape, and the door was closed, and Pink began to vent in front of me, and then he got me. Yellow was also one of the imposters, so they accused the wrong player last round. I also just now remembered that I saw Pink fake card swipe, even though we didn't have that task. And if you know anything about task, I'm sure you knew that as well. I was really frustrated because none of the imposters were ejected. How do you fumble the bag like that? All I know is that we're all dead. We're not gonna win this game. But I'm gonna make one last effort to finish all my tasks. I really don't want these imposters to win after what Pink did to me. Yellow then vented in front of Maroon, and Maroon was smart enough to call a meeting. I was really frustrated. What is going on? First my name was Amogus, and now this? Even though Yellow vented, they weren't ejected. They were even venting in front of everyone, and another meeting was called. What? It was obviously Pink and Yellow, but they weren't ejected again. It was the beginning of the end for us crewmates. The imposters had control of the entire match. The only thing that I could hope for was just to finish my task as soon as possible, to even have some hope for this victory. Another meeting was called and the same thing happened. The imposters weren't ejected. I only had one last task, which was to fuel the engines. I finished and then I saw the imposter vent in front of everyone with Yellow, and us crewmates could not do anything about it. And Pink then called the meeting and ejected Maroon, and we lost. Who was the third vote? We could have won. Since I had an issue with that lobby, I joined another one, and my name was back to Amogus. I was banned out of the lobby again, which means that I can change my name back. But I keep being banned with this name. Is there something wrong with it? I was starting to question that username. I've seen it before, but why is it banning me from lobbies? And I wasn't being banned having my regular username. After several minutes of waiting, we got into the game. And I was a crewmate with 2 imposters. I only had to do 4 tasks again, but it's a task that take you a long time to complete. Nothing seemed off about this lobby, so I was just finishing my task. But then a body was reported, and the name of the player was Ash Clone, but there were so many players named the same thing. Why is there so many Ash clones? The imposters ended up leaving, which gave us a win, but why is there clones in Among Us? I'm getting out of here. There's something wrong with that username. I joined another lobby and my name went back to normal. I didn't have to change it again, which means that I'm not gonna get banned. At least that's a positive. But I wonder why I don't have the name anymore. We then eventually had a full lobby of 15 crewmates, and we were in the game. I already knew this was going to be a long game because the lights were very dim and we had so many tasks, so you have to watch where you're going. The lights turned off and I decided to stick with a few crewmates to avoid dying because a body was reported. You never want to enter electrical right away. We couldn't figure out who the imposter was, so we all skipped, and we were back in the cafeteria. While I was in communications, I could hear the sound of something outside. The scald. Did something hit the scald? Or is it a crewmate making a noise? I was so confused, I was just trying to look everywhere. It wasn't the crewmates. So I decided to look outside in shields, and that's when I saw a floating crewmate outside. It was just floating out in space, and then disappeared. But that crewmate did not look normal. He didn't have a backpack, he just had big legs. I left and I went to go do my medbay scan, but I was so confused on why there was a crewmate outside. I was about to do a task in navigation and a body was reported. And we all skipped once again. The imposters are getting away with everything. I was then making my way back to navigation to finish my task. And when I got done, I found the floating crewmate outside, just floating. He then disappeared, so I went over to Shields where I first saw him, and he was floating there again. I escaped and I entered electrical, and the lights turned off and I was eliminated. Nobody was ejected. I'm surprised no one saw. But now that I'm a ghost, I can finish my task a lot quicker. But I can go outside the scald, and I can check out what's happening out there. I made sure to complete all my tasks first, before I would investigate what's going on outside, because this is just so strange. Could that be the imposter that was ejected? Or maybe it is an imposter but was ejected several years ago, and he came back for revenge. Maybe that's why it looks like that. So I began to look out in space to see if I can find this player, and I made it to the darkest corner where everything around me was black. So I tried looking at the locations where I first saw him, and that's when I found him right outside of weapons, just floating right in front of me. He was then getting closer and disappeared before he could even touch me. Must have been because a body was reported. Since no player was ejected, I was looking around the entire scald. Where is this player at? I just saw him. I checked in every single corner. I kept going around and around. Where is he? Maybe he needs my help. I kept looking, but the only thing that I could see was stars and planets. As I was floating around, space began to get darker. I couldn't tell if I was losing my vision or if the stars are just fading away. The player then appeared and threw himself at me as I was floating around. If you would like to know what happened next, make sure to drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel and check out these other stories.